Alright guys, so in the previous Project PR video, we mentioned that I also planned on talking about the cross-country teams' calendars, basically. So we'll see time-wise, kind of if it allows all four that I anticipate going through, or if I'll need to split it up. Like I mentioned in the previous one, I do tend to ramble on these, so I'll probably end up splitting it up, but we'll see. Um, Before we get into it, I guess an update for my running. Um, Ran into shin splints the past couple days from running indoors on some of those rainy days. So that's already got me a little off of my plan we did in the last video. That was kind of the if everything goes right plan, I guess. But I don't think it will affect the end goal of like the 70-mile week or anything like that. I might just have to add like an additional mile here and there to make up for it. I think if I haven't ran yet today to round off this week of what was going to be 35 miles, but I think I'll probably still hit 30-ish, so it's not that big of a jump. For the shin splints, I've just been lucky that with no school going on right now, I can basically just ice like an incredible amount throughout the day and just stretch basically whenever I want to, and it helps the process go a lot faster. They're already feeling better after like one day off, like one down day and then one complete rest day. I have those, I think I've mentioned them before on here, but pain cakes. They're little circular ice packs that you can just stick to your leg or back or whatever's hurting you. That's my main things usually. So definitely recommend those. That and the foam roller. I've been getting the calf muscles kind of loosened up a little bit. It's all been easy mileage so far. Trying to work on keeping the pace in the 8 to 9 range instead of the 10 plus range that I tend to fall into on my easy days. But no crazy workouts or anything yet. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this. I have Project PR is my name I gave my training. We're not going to worry about that one today. So that I have these four CC training plans. Beginner, and then blue, and then white, and then warrior. So beginner's pretty self-explanatory if you're new to running, basically, with a little athletic background. Blue would be the next step up. Let's say the blue training plan is for a newer runner with little experience. Maybe you're a young high school or something like that. White would be the one I would probably give to somebody who's been running for a couple years, and they can definitely handle some of the workouts that we've done in cross and track before. They kind of know what they're doing at this point. If I tell them to go run a 5-mile day, it's not the end of the world. And Warrior CC training plan, that would be like the I guess you could say like our version of an elite plan. That's when you're going above and beyond what I'd say the typical, or even getting to peak like high school level of training. I'm going to scale that back from what some people might think of like peak, and I'm going to focus it on our team. We don't have anybody that's competing in Nike Nationals or anything like that, so there's probably one more step to be had here, but that's the four we're going to have for right now. The reason it's blue, white, warriors, those school collars and mascots, so that's what we go with there. We had a pretty similar breakdown last year, but some of the kids are going to flip-flop groups. We had like time goals to hit some of them. It's going to be a little bit different this year. Let's actually start with this warrior one right off the bat here. I told the cross team that this week coming up, so that's going to be this 25th or 31st, just get out the door, get some miles in. I told them I'm not going to give them a calendar. Preferably you'd get out there at least every other day and just do what you can, easy running. if you are somebody that falls into this upper echelon, if they're running every other day, so let's say they start tomorrow, so that'd be 1, 2, 3 on Friday, and then I count Sunday too. So let's say they run 4 times. I don't expect that those last more than probably 20, 30 minutes. So that's probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're probably reaching around 10 miles, and that's totally fine. Maybe if they get really gung-ho, pushing 15, but I doubt that right off the bat. So I'm going to put 10 miles, but this one's going to be a little iffy. It's probably not going to be super accurate. Maybe I'll do this, 10 miles. So theoretically, this week they'll probably get around 10. Now this is the week of June 1st that we're going to start meeting as a team. We're going to start at 3 days a week, although that might go up if we get good attendance and everything. But they will be expected to run more on their own. So they're probably going to be running 5 times instead of 3 or 4 this week. However, if we still keep that time range of around 20-30 minutes of running, for those who have ran in the past, let's say that's 3 miles on Monday, we'll call it like 2 when they're not with us, 3 again, probably an off day is going to be my guess, either Tuesday or Thursday. Hopefully they run one of those. Friday's probably another 3, and then hopefully they run one of the 2 weekend days. So I'm looking at 3, 6, 9 for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then probably another 4 in the other couple days. So we're talking like 13 miles to start here. So that's nothing too crazy in my eyes, at least. Now, this is this is part of the reason I was saying there's definitely tiers above what we have as like warrior tier. If you're like competing in nationals, or if you've been a like state runner several times, you might be able to start a lot higher than 13. Like especially if you're on the boys side, that they usually can handle a little bit higher miles and have been doing it a little bit longer. So if you've been doing those miles before, it's easier to jump into. I think the max anybody ran on our team last year was in the mid-30s, so this is already like close to halfway there. I would like the end of this to get a little bit higher than that, and we'll see where we end up. I'm going to stick to a similar rule of thumb that we had in the Project PR one, where we bring this up to a total of, this is definitely going to be based on how they're feeling and everything, how it goes. But I'd like to add 5 about every week. So we're going to have 18. Because that, because those first couple weeks were pretty nonchalant, especially with the first one where it was just kind of up to them, and then this one where I'm kind of game planning that they're going to take probably 2 days off, I'm going to wait another week in this week of the 15th before I schedule a down week. So let's add in another build up of miles. So let's go to 23. I'll just stick with the 5 for right now. Yeah, let's do 24. I'm betting if this is all going fine, then we can sneak one more in there. Now, when we get to this point, that's probably where I would expect 6 days a week for somebody in this tier. Still, though, I mean, if we go like from the 15th on, you probably don't want to run every day the same amount of mileage, but if you go 4 every day and take like Sunday off, you'll get there. That's not a crazy amount still. Since it's been probably at this point a month or so of building up mileage, let's take one down week in here. Let's go back down to 20 for a week. But going back off of that, we're going to be increasing again. So let's say instead of 24, Note, if you noticed in mine, I kind of matched it. Um, I'm not a 18-year-old, so I'm putting myself in the little bit older category. So I need that time. I'm betting somebody in this category could make a bump up on the week back, but we'll keep it small. So let's say like 26 instead of 24. Remember, these are all super tentative, so that's getting us to 26 miles in a week going into July. So let's move forward. I definitely want them with a couple weeks in the 30s, if not higher, before coming in. So I might have to go back and change some of this. So let's take this one to 31. We'll go up that 5. Let's take this one to 35, because this is probably around the highest that some people on our team for this group will have went. And then this is going to be the first week. Well, actually, August 1st is a Saturday, so I was going to say that's going to be the first week of practice, but they'll actually have one more. So we went 26, 31, 35. Let's go back down for a week. I can already tell I'm going to have to revisit some of this mileage. And then I would like them on this week. Well, following this plan, they're probably going to be able to get to about 37. Now, that's not what I was hoping for when I was going into this. So I'm thinking that they need to be, if they're on this upper tier, in the 40s, and I was even hoping closer to 45. So that tells me I need to revisit this, and I need to, somewhere along the way, bump this up a little bit quicker. So 13, as I was saying, it stuck out as pretty low to me. So I think what's going to happen is everything is basically going to get shifted up a week, and let's see what that looks like. Because that will let me go from 37 here to probably like 42. So maybe we'll make even some other tiny adjustments. So 18 still seems okay for here. Assuming they run 5 times this week, like I said, that's still not even for a run, so we're good there. We're keeping it low per day. I think I'm okay going up to 24 here still. I think we can go up one more, and then I still think that next one's going to have to be a down week, but let's hit 30 here. Kind of like my Project PR one. This is going to be a kind of if things go right plan. But instead of 20, let's say this is like 24. Is that what we had right before? Yeah, so we just bumped back down for a week. Oops, a little too far ahead. Okay, so we went down to 24, and we were at 30. So now we can probably go up to like 2 as we had before to 32. Now we have 2 weeks of at least 30 miles going into July, or at least wrapping up the first week of July. We could do that 5-mile rule and get this up to 37. We could get this one up to probably 42. You know what? I'm going to leave this one at 30, since this is a little bit more of a drastic jump than I planned the first time through. We want that kind of brought down week. And then instead of adding just 2, we'll add 3 here and call this, well, we'll add 8. 3 more than the 5 rule I was using. And hit 45. So that's kind of the game plan I have in my mind for the top group of our current runners on the team. We're a newer program, so we don't have many runners that are, let's say, like seniors who have ran from 7th grade on. We don't have that. This is going to be the 4th year of the program, so that just doesn't really exist. I'm thinking the longest, I guess you'd say, like career we have right now is from like a 7th grader going into a sophomore, or an 8th grader going into like a junior, or something like that. So that's why it's 45. So if you're a more experienced runner, or you've been running for more than a couple years, this probably looks low to you. Let's try to sneak in the next tier down. It'll be easier, I think, now that we have this kind of template to work with. And then we'll save the other two maybe for a different video. So again, I'm just going to say the white group is probably those who have been running for a year or two now. They've been running a little while now. They know what we're expecting going into the season, but they probably have done either low mileage in the past, or they're still in the process of kind of getting their feet under them, building a base. So they probably can do 10 miles right off the bat too. I mean, if you go out for just a few minutes every other day, you're going to get there if you've ran for a year or two. So that doesn't really change there. I still expect this group to probably run 5 times this week here. So 5, and let's say they do 3 every day again. That's getting to 15. They'd have off days then. Maybe one day's a 4 and one day's a 2 or something to get some recovery in. But I'm thinking 15 sounds about right. Just thinking about who we have on the team for this group, I want to keep the mileage bump a little bit more conservative. So instead of going up 6 miles like that warrior group, let's go up maybe like 4 or 5 every time. Let's go to 19 right here. I need to put miles in this so I don't freak out about it being different. There we go. Looks like one more bump up, and then I want to follow the same kind of strategy of dipping down and giving like a quote-unquote recovery week. So total, if we bump up again, let's just say like 22 for right now. I could see that bumping up if they're doing well. And then on a down week, total, let's do what we did with this one where it matches like 2 weeks before and do 19 again. Okay, so with the warrior one we bumped up 6 here, but earlier with this weight group I was bumping up 3, so that'd get us to 25. Let's try to get to 26 here. So I said, as we're going through the warrior group, that I wanted them to have at least a handful of weeks in the 30s, if not higher, going into the season at the beginning of August. If we look ahead to that, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of at least 30, and 2 of those were in the 40s. I don't know if we'll quite hit that high, but I would like similar consistency. So if I went from 26, and we're going to build up again here, I would like them to still hit the 30s several times, but probably not quite as high, and they might not get into the 40s. So let's say total from 26, let's get to 30 this week. Let's build up again. Let's get to 34-ish. We'll take a down week. This is probably going to be a little bit harder on them, so I do want to stick with a similar strategy that I did before with making this one pretty far removed from their peak. So we'll go down to like 25. That's lower than anywhere in the past couple weeks that we're seeing there. Even like that 26 is a little bit less than that. And then here from 34 total, we could probably get to, let's say, like 37 miles. I won't push the envelope there. And I would feel really good about somebody who has ran for a year or two. Maybe if you're a boy, you're in that like 21-ish range. Maybe if you're a girl in the like 23-ish, 24 range, hitting something like that and making major drops once the season starts. Alright, I can tell that I've been going for a bit now, like 20 minutes or so. So we'll kind of wrap up here. Maybe I'll put out the other two plans a little bit quicker instead of just like one a week. And you guys will have to let me know what you think about those. Just hearing the thought process helps me too for planning in future seasons. Alright, let me know what you think. Maybe we should do something extra. If you made it to the end, we have a question of the day for you. Question of the day: at what point in this planning did it seem outrageous to you? Let me know. Like if you thought this was interesting, helpful. Feel free to subscribe if you find it helpful, interesting again, like I said, and maybe we'll keep making more.